Ah, shit. Bent it on the last tap. Hello, party people. So, today we're going to talk about the dippiest of hippie fucking shit. Self-care. Yeah, no, it's a topic that came to mind a little while ago, and I thought, yeah, it's worth talking about. You know, do things that make you feel good about yourself. For example, for me, you know, getting rid of the overgrown thatch of balding hair that I have occasionally makes me feel way better. It doesn't make me look all that much better, considering, you know, dark fucking circles around my eyes, a few spots on my face and the shiny bits, but, yeah, I feel okay. And the kind of patchy facial hair I have before it grows in properly. But, you know, I do feel better. And, you know, one of the things that I'd absolutely say, sorry, I'm blinking kind of funny because the sun is directly behind this, reflecting off of a very bright white house next door. And, yeah, kind of hard on the eyes. But, yeah, you know, you have to do things to take care of yourself. It will alleviate at least a little bit of depression if you're feeling down. And, I mean, look at me, I look pretty fucking rough. Not bad for my age, I suppose. But, yeah, the whole hippy-dippy, new-agey, oh, you look your age kind of deal, it is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with looking your age. I mean, I'm 51 years old, and I've had the shit kicked out of me by life. And it's not that much better than it used to be, but it is better. And one of the things I have learned is that you can hide how you feel from yourself with chemicals better than you can hide it from other people. And addiction especially is something that you need to try to break. Yeah, I know. You have no idea the addictions I have broken. But the self-care side of things, you kind of have to be able to look at yourself and go, you know what? You deserve a little better than what you're doing for yourself right now. So do better. You know, give yourself that encouragement. You wouldn't look at someone else and tell them, hey, you're fucked, well, one of your friends, anyway. You wouldn't look at someone you care about and say, you suck, you need to do better for yourself. You know, you'd be a little more encouraging, a little more positive than that. Like, you know, you're worth taking care of yourself, dude. There's nothing wrong with looking at yourself in the mirror and saying that. And I think a lot of people tend to cover their own perceived inadequacies by, you know, conspicuous consumption or, you know, engaging in putting on airs or faking their way through things. You don't have to do that. It's okay to look at yourself in the mirror and go, fuck, dude, you look rough. And then do something to make yourself feel better. Trust me, that's what I did this morning before I shaved my hair. Well, I didn't shave, I clippered, but before I clipped my hair. And, yeah, I do feel better. And it's getting used to the things that make you feel better. It's understanding what makes you feel good about yourself. That don't require other people's input, that don't require chemicals. Those things, it's not even a matter of necessarily ego, it's a matter of, you know, much as I hate the hippy-dippy language side of this phrase, self-care is fucking important. You know, I'm not a particularly new-agey guy, but there are some terms, self-care is one of them, that had they been around or more prominent when I was younger, I probably would have been taking care of myself a lot better than I do, a lot sooner than I am. So, yeah. And yes, I do realize I am, in fact, a fat bastard who smokes. Far too much. Drinks far too much coffee, eats far too much junk food. But, at least I'm not, I was going to say at least I'm not an asshole. I think the nicest thing I could say about myself is at least I'm not an undeserved asshole to people who don't deserve it. But among the things we need to learn to do for ourselves is to take time for ourselves. Now, it's really easy to get burned out by life. You know, you'll have demands on your time. And if you're lucky, you'll have someone to help take that strain off. Now, I'm lucky in, well, it's kind of a backhanded kind of unfortunate kind of luck that I don't have any children. But because of that, and also not having a partner, I do have the time, because I don't have those pressures, to step back and evaluate how I feel. And, of course, one of the kind of fringe benefits of having a disorder like hypothyroidism is I pay very, very close attention to, the way I say it is body sense, but the sense of the corpse that I'm carrying around. I pay very close attention to how it feels, or how it's reacting. For example, with thyroid disease, you'll often get, well, it's hard to see because they're very short right now, but I can flex my fingernails very, very easily. My fingernails are very thin. My thumbnails tend to be significantly tougher. But one of the reasons that I keep my nails as short as I can, or, well, quite short quite a lot of the time, is because, not just because I do woodwork, but it's also because if they get too long, they will tear like a fairly thick piece of paper. Not even as thick as cardstock. And I can tell you from personal experience, that fucking sucks. I understand why women hate it when they break a nail, or when they tear their nail, or what have you. There's no pain quite like having the bed of your nail exposed. It sucks balls. But that's also part of self-care, is, okay, I'm aware that if I let my nails get too long, they could tear, and that sucks. And I don't want the person I'm going to be when that happens to suffer needlessly. That's also part of self-care, is knowing that not doing it is neglecting the first person you should absolutely care about, which is you. So, yeah, you know, self-care is kind of important. Anyway, guys, that's Thinking Man's Thursday. If you want to support me, there will be links in, well, it'll be the description in this case. If you want to, go over to the Ko-Fi, fling me a few bucks. Do that on a monthly basis. I'll put your name in the ticker on my streams and on my videos. Other videos. Yeah, other than that, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lamps become lions. Bye-bye.